Morning, everybody. My name is Peter C. We're here at Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Fredrick, Colorado, and today we're going to be looking at a brand new 2026 Renegade Valencia. So this is the 36SB floor plan. This is probably my favorite Valencia we've gotten in a while because the color scheme on this one is really unique. So this one is the Atlas LR color scheme, which is kind of this lighter green color. Really neat because you don't see a lot of green coaches out there, and we added a few more accents to it that just make it a really nice exterior appeal. So to get started with, we're going to take a walk around the exterior. If you're more interested in the interior, just skip forward about 10 minutes, but we'll go ahead and take a lap around the exterior and then we'll head on inside. So to get us started, we'll take a look at the engine up front. So this being a Super C, this is built on a Freightliner S2 RV chassis. So one of the advantages of having a Super C is, as you can see, everything in this engine bay is very, very easy to access. If you need to get up here to change out fluids, add fluids, change filters, belts, hoses, anything like that, very easy to access. Also means it's a lot easier for any shops you go to access, and the service rate is generally a little bit lower than Class A's. So this is powered by a Cummins 6.7 liter motor. Makes 360 horsepower and 800 foot-pounds of torque. You'll also have a 12,000 pound towing capacity on this, this Valencia. Now, nice thing with this hood is it is on gas struts, so we can just push it down and it'll close itself. You don't have to worry about slamming it shut. Now, while we're looking at the front of this coach, this is one of the cool accents we added to it. This is actually the Caliber 9 grille package. So if you see that little C9 there, now this whole thing is blacked out. Really nice addition to any of these coaches that are just in a singular color. Makes it look really clean. Now, coming around the side here, the other thing we added to this one would be the matte black wheels. So if you look at these wheels, they're all blacked out. They even have the little Renegade logo on them. So just another nice little addition. Makes it look a lot cleaner. Now, coming down the side here, you can see all of our exterior windows are all frameless, double pane windows. We'll take a closer look at those when we get on inside, but now we'll go ahead and open some of these storage bays. So on the driver's side of the coach is going to be a lot of the guts of what makes this coach work. In this first bay, we're going to have our chassis batteries there on the left side, and we'll have our 3 lithium batteries there on the right side. So standard would be AGMs, but we did option this coach with the upgraded lithium package, which gives you 330 amp hours of lithium. One cool thing about this bay is if we look up there to the top left, there's actually an air chuck there. So this coach has air brakes. You also have rear air suspension, but that air chuck will actually allow you to tie into that and use it to air up trailer tires, or if you're towing side-by-sides, toys, anything like that, you can hook into that and actually use that to air up your tires. So our next bay right here is just going to be storage. So neat things about all of our bays out here, all of these storage bays are going to be carpeted throughout, and they're all solid steel. So if you hear me hit on the bottom of these, they're all very, very durable. Our next bay right here and the one after this is both going to be our holding tanks. So this coach has 150 gallons of fresh water capacity, as well as 75 gallons of black and 75 gallons of gray. So this is one of your holding tanks. These are insulated, as well as they have 12-volt heating pads on them. So this next bay is just going to be another one of those holding tanks. And then if you look down below at this hose here, this is actually the hose for your macerator. So this does have a macerator for the black tank. And then our wet bay is going to be right in here. So all the way on the back here, we do have a little panel where we can check a few things. You can check the battery voltage there, and you can check the fresh gray and black tank capacities. You have your freshwater hose right here, and the reel is behind this whole panel. We do have a power cord reel right there for the freshwater hose. We also have a water hookup out here with a little hose. So if you travel with pets or anything that you want to be able to spray off, you can connect this hose right there and be able to tap into your 150 gallons of fresh water. All right, now moving on down. Right here is going to be our diesel fill. So this coach has a 100-gallon diesel tank. So that would be the only spot to fill it. This isn't dual side fills like you'd have on an M2 106 chassis. It's just right here on the driver's side. Our next bay right here will be our generator. So this is an 8,000 watt Onan quiet diesel generator. We'll provide all the power for this coach, in addition to those 330 amp hours of lithium that we mentioned earlier. This one will also have 600 watts of solar up on the roof. And now this bay will be our power cord reel. So on the right there is our 50 amp power cord. You can see they actually include the 50 to 30 amp adapter with you for free. So if you ever need to utilize that at a campground, you'll always have one. The power cord button's just over here on this right side. So that'll automatically reel that whole cord back in. And then in the back, that black box there is going to be our power surge protector as well as our transfer switch. All right, now coming around the back, a few things to point out here. So this is a whole molded rear fiberglass cap, but what's nice about this is it's actually in two pieces. So if you see the seam here, the advantage of that is if you get rear-ended by a smaller car, you're not gonna have to replace this whole cap. You're only gonna have to replace this bottom piece, so it just keeps it a little bit cheaper. Up top, we do have our backup camera, so we'll take a look at that a little more closely when we get into the cab. You have the nice Valencia and the Renegade RV logo here in black to match, the rest of this coach. And then we will have the Gen Y towing hitch. So again, this has a 12,000 pound towing capacity, and they'll always come with that Gen Y towing hitch. And then looking all the way to the bottom, underneath the coach, we have the Renegade RV mud flaps. Now, coming down the passenger side, everything except for this first bay is all going to be storage. So this first bay right here is actually going to have our propane tank in it. This is a 20-gallon propane tank, and that is going to power our gas stove on the inside, our furnace, and also our hot water heater. So right there, just one big storage bay. Again, all of these are felted. They're all steel on the bottom, and they all have lights inside them as well. Now this next one is actually a pass-through. So both of these will go all the way through. So if you have any longer items, fishing poles, anything bulky, you'll have a nice long storage bay where you'll put that all the way through. Now, if we look in the back of this compartment, there's actually a 110 outlet here. And there's also a little drop through on the bottom. So if you're camping with other people, or you're at a campsite and you want to run some power outside, you can plug an extension cord into that and drop the cord right through here, be able to supply 110 outlet power to anything outside the coach. The hose in here is actually the hose for that air chuck we were talking about, so they do include that for you. Go ahead and close those. And then finally we have one more storage bay right here. And in the top of that storage bay actually houses our inverter. So this is a 3,000 watt inverter. We also have the exterior TV. We'll go ahead and pop that open. 42-inch exterior TV with a Bluetooth soundbar. So Bluetooth soundbars are always nice if you just want to use that to play music over your phone. You will have some outlets in here. So all the way on the side over here, we're going to have two USB hookups for any other devices you want to plug in and charge outside. All right, now on this side is going to be our Truma AquaGo. So that is your continuous hot water heater. This will run off of the propane tank that we saw in the back. Now, before we head inside, we'll also back up a little bit and take a look at our Girard awning here. So you have a full campside Girard awning. You also have Girard slide toppers. And then we'll head on inside. So first thing to note as we head indoors, this actually has an electronic keypad. So if you don't want to have a bunch of keys, if you have a big family and everyone's going in and out of the coach constantly, you can just program this keypad, and that way you don't have to carry your keys on you. Now, heading inside, one of the really nice things about these stairs is if we look down below, you have a really, really deep footwell down there, actually on both steps. So that's a really good thing to have if you're, if you're going out hiking, getting really dirty, muddy shoes or anything that you don't want to bring inside. You can take a seat here on the step, pop off your shoes or your boots and just slide them under there. Keep all the mess in one area. Either side of this stairwell actually has the solid surface that we'll have on all of our countertops throughout. So again, really easy to keep this clean. Now, looking to the side as we come in the coach here, just go over this real briefly. So left to right, we have our battery disconnect right here. That's our house battery disconnect. We have our entry step override. So that entry step is automatic, but if you want it to just stay out while you're parked, you can use that override switch right there. And then we have our e-start. So what this does is it allows you to link your chassis and house batteries together. So if you kill your chassis battery, which is a little bit easier to do on these truck chassis, you can jump it off of the house batteries right there. We have our fire extinguisher set up right there, and then one of our inverter controls is right here. So that's the inverter switch for that 3,000 watt inverter. A little bit higher up, there's gonna be a lighting panel right here. So everything in this coach is going to be controlled on a touch panel, but you can also use this just to have your interior master on switch as you're coming in the door. And behind this is all this nice soft touch panel. All right, so now we'll head a little bit farther inside. Right now, all of our slides are closed. So this is a dual slide. We're going to have one slide right here in the living area and then one bed slide. We always like to show these with the slides closed so you guys can see, how usable they are without putting the slide out. A lot of the times, maybe you're going to be camping in areas where you can't actually use your slides. If you're, dry camping in a Walmart parking lot or something for any reason, a lot of the times they don't let you use your slides. So nice thing about this floor plan is this is 100% usable without the slides out. If we come back here into the bathroom, you can see we still have plenty of room to be able to use everything in our bathroom. There's actually no slides on either side of your bathroom here. And also going back into the bedroom, you can fully use your bed without these slides extended at all. Now we'll go ahead and put out the slides in our living area by using our touch panel right here. So cool thing about these slides as well is while they are controlled through this touch panel, you can also control them through an app on your phone. So this is a Firefly system, but there's an app called the Vega Mirror Touch app, which you can download, and you can use that to control your slides. You can use it to control your leveling. All of that can be controlled from your phone. Now, what's really advantageous to that is sometimes if you're parked at a campground or something, or maybe somewhere with just not a lot of space and you're a little worried about putting your slide out, if you're doing it on your own, you're going to be running outside and inside, and you keep going out another 6 inches because you're worried you're going to hit something. If you're able to do that on your phone, you can just go stand outside and watch the slide yourself the whole time. Same deal with leveling. You really shouldn't be moving around the coach too much while you're leveling. So being able to do that on your phone just allows you to leave the coach entirely, make sure nothing's wobbling around, go do all your leveling out there. So really convenient feature to have. Now we'll go over our living area right here. So this one was optioned with the theater seating. These are probably my favorite seats they do in the Renegades. These are the newer theater seating. So these are powered. So gotta watch the igniter there, Jody. So these are powered recliners. They'll recline all the way out. But what I really love about these is these are also massaging recliners. So if we look at this little touchpad right here, this button is our massaging. So if you can hear my voice rattling a little bit, that's because it's massaging my back right now. So this is high, medium, and low. It's not like a kneading massage like you get from some massage chairs. It's just vibration, but sitting back after a long day, it is actually a really nice feature to have. Now, behind our theater seats here, we're gonna have our windows. This one right here is, there's the locks on this. So this is a full slide. If I can get the locks open. So that'll slide all the way up. So really nice to let you get that cross breeze through here. You have day and night manual shades on all of our windows. And then the two windows behind the theater seats are going to be the typical screw tilt out windows. So that's about the maximum that those will open. And then again, the same pull down day and night shades. I really like the valances in this Valencia. It's kind of this black leather. It's a really nice, accent feature to everything else in here. Now above our theater seats, we're going to have 3 opening cabinets, and all of these are pass-throughs. So if you have any long, bulky items, you can utilize that space all the way across. And while we're looking at the cabinets, one really important thing to note about Renegade, what Renegade does exceptionally well is cabinetry. So all of this wood that you see throughout here, the trim all the way around, all of the cabinetry, this is all real maple hardwood. It is probably some of the best woodwork you're going to see in really any RV. So shifting a little farther down, we'll go over our dinette area right here. So this one comes with the Dream dinette. So this is actually a drop-down table. So if I flip a handle underneath here, this whole thing will drop down. Has to go a little bit farther down. You have to actually pop these cushions out, but gives you an idea of the sleeping space that you have. So once this table drops all the way down, we're gonna have another cushion back in the bedroom that you can put in there, and this will turn into like a small little day bed. Not really big enough for an adult, but for any children that you travel with, you could comfortably sleep 2 children there. Go ahead and pull that back up. Now on your dinette, you'll have 2 seat belts on the forward-facing seat. And also forgot to mention there are seat belts in both of your theater seats. So in total, that's going to give you 4 seat belts in the rear of this coach, 2 in the front, obviously. So you're going to have seat belts for 6 passengers. On your dinette here, we do have an outlet. So if you want to use this as a workstation, somewhere to plug in your laptop, personal devices, you're going to have 110 USB and USB-C charging ports right there. And then I really love this huge bay window they have next to the dinette here. Just makes a really nice panoramic view. And again, same day and night shades that we saw everywhere else. All right, so we'll shift over to our kitchen now. Move this out of the way real quick. So all solid surface countertops throughout here. On the side down here, we have a little countertop extension. So just allows you to have a little bit more countertop space, a little bit more prep space while you're working. One thing I really love that I haven't seen in previous Valencias is the faucet that they put in here. This is a really nice detail. You have this black faucet with this little gold accents to it. Really complements all of the gold, or I guess you could call this brass hardware that you have throughout here. So all of your cabinets, all of the handles on them are kind of this gold or brass. Your hose right here is on a sprayer attachment. I'll go ahead and pull these off. We have a really deep stainless steel farm sink. And then moving down to the side here. So this one, as we mentioned outside, that 20-gallon propane tank, that's going to power our gas stove right here. So we'll just pull out these little inserts. And then we have a 3-burner gas stove. All of these have the igniters built in right there. And then up above that is going to be our convection microwave. All right, and then we'll open some of our cabinets here for you guys. So big cabinet up above the microwave with a 110 outlet back there. So if you want to plug in a coffee maker or something, you could always put it up there. And then more storage over here. Then we can take a look at some of our under-sink storage as well. So right here, this is where your trash can's gonna go. But tons of space underneath the sink. It's not all taken up by plumbing or anything. You have plenty of space to be able to store all your pots and pans. Now coming over here, we're gonna have one of our drawers. And another thing to point out with, we talk about how nice the cabinetry is. If you look at these joints right here, this is all dovetail jointed. And if you know anything about woodwork, you only get that in very high quality cabinetry. This is all soft close as well. A little bit more storage down beneath the sink. And then we'll have 2 drawers here underneath our stove. This one underneath has the travel lock on it and comes with your little separators in here. So really good spot for skillets or, you know, all your pots and pans there. All right, now on the other side of the kitchen, we have one big pantry cabinet right here. Now this is really, really deep. I mean, this has plenty of storage for what you'd expect for an RV. The cabinet below it is actually not storage. That's gonna have your fuse panel, your breaker box, all that in it. And then take a look at our refrigerator here. So this is a 2-door refrigerator and freezer. You have an ice maker. So I know ice makers are important to a lot of people, so it's nice to see that they do that with the refrigerators they option these coaches with. Up above our refrigerator is going to be our AV cabinet up here. So if you look in the back, this actually comes standard with Starlink. So that's the Starlink router, that white box that you can see right there. All right, now we'll keep heading back into the bathroom area. So we have one pocket door right here that's gonna separate off your living area from your bathroom. While we're heading into the bathroom, this one was actually optioned with the washer dryer. So that'll go right there. Now you can option these coaches without the washer dryer. They will come pre-plumbed for it as a standard, but most of the coaches that we order here, we'll usually order them with a washer dryer. If you didn't do the washer dryer, this is just gonna be a huge storage cabinet for you. Now, coming back farther into our bathroom, this is sort of a split bathroom. So on our driver's side here is going to be our sink, same matching solid surface countertop and backsplash that we have in the kitchen. We have a 110 outlet here on the side, so if you have electric toothbrushes or anything like that that you want to charge, you can do that right there. Up above, we have our mirror, and this is also a medicine cabinet. And again, this is that same maple hardwood we have throughout the entire coach. Now, our storage down below the sink, we're gonna have 3 soft close drawers right here, as well as a bit of storage underneath the sink as well. All right, and then if we shift to the passenger side, we'll take a look at our shower. Jody and me just have to do a little bit of a shuffle here. All right, so on the other side is gonna be our shower. So this has its own pocket door as well. So that'll allow you to close off the shower from everything else in the, in the bathroom. This does have the corner shower. This is actually magnetic on the strip here, so it keeps this door from sliding apart if you forget to use your travel lock. Now, what is nice about this shower, number one, it's very tall. With shoes on, I'm about 6 foot tall, and you can see I still have plenty of space above my head. My head's actually about even with the rim of this shower. And you do have a bench in here as well. So benches are always nice. If you're a woman and you need somewhere to sit down to be able to shave your legs, you can easily fit in here and be able to sit down. And then we have our sprayer attachment for the shower and a skylight up above you. This isn't really a clear skylight, it's kind of an opaque skylight, but still lets in plenty of natural light. Now our toilet's going to be a porcelain toilet with a push button flush behind here, so it's not like a kick flush or anything like that. We'll have the matching valance and windows we have everywhere else in the coach. So this is going to be a tilt out window with the day and night shades built in here. And then we have one storage spot up above, so good spot for towels or toiletries, anything you like to have with you in your shower. There's also a little towel hook built into the wall right here. Our toilet paper holders going to be down here, right to the left-hand side of your toilet, and we'll have a control panel right here. So this control panel is just going to control the vent fan in the bathroom, because there is an exhaust fan right above me there. You control the speed of that vent fan, you can turn on or off your water pump from here, and you can control the lighting in the bathroom from here. One important note about the shower, because some coaches seem to kind of make this mistake, you do have a heat vent in the bathroom. So if you're camping in really cold climates, there are some RVs out there that for whatever reason they don't put a heat vent in the shower, so I always think that's an important note. Now, before we head into the bathroom, this is one of our control panels. We'll take a closer look at the control panel when we get back into the living area, but this is matching to the one that we're going to have in our living area, so there are two of them in total. Now, we have another pocket door right here. Oh, this is actually closed right now. We have a pocket door right here heading into our bedroom. Now, right now, our bed slide is out. This is not a full-size king-size bed. This is an RV king, which is going to mean it's 66 inches in width. A standard king would be 72 inches in width. So it's kind of between a queen and a king. Now, on either side, you're going to have little nightstand cabinets right there for any personal items you have. And Jody, if you can take a peek around to the side of the bed, you'll have outlets right there. So on either side, you have 110 outlets, USB, USB-C charging ports, so good spot for all your personal devices. And then we can open some of the cabinets up here for you. So all the way in the back of that cabinet, there's another 110 outlet. So if you put anything up there, you do have a charging port for it. On either side of the bed here, we're gonna have those fully raising windows that we saw in the living area. So this will raise completely up. If you open those windows on either side of your bed, you're gonna get plenty of cross breeze through here. We also have these little night lights. So these are kind of cool. You have a blue light on this, so if you're someone that likes to stay up late and read a book, you have a blue light so you're not distracting your partner. And then you have the lamp light on there as well. And both of these actually have USB charging ports built into them. So if you want to plug something in, maybe your iPad or your phone while you're reading a book at night, you can plug it in right there. And then you're not going to be able to see this, but there is a control panel right here, right above your head where you're sleeping. This is just a push button control panel, but allows you to do a few things. You can turn the, it's an interior master light switch, so you can turn all the master lights on or off. You can start or stop your generator from there. So if you go to bed with your generator running and then you wake up at 2 in the morning and it's driving you crazy, you can just reach up and shut it off right there. Now, behind our bedroom, we do have a mirror here all the way across. And then we'll go into some of our storage. So big wardrobe right there. This is hanging storage, so there's going to be a curtain rod up above and 4 drawers on this side. So again, these are all those dovetail jointed soft close drawers. Now, underneath here, this is the same solid surface countertop that we have in the kitchen and the bathroom. Everything throughout this is going to match. On the right-hand side, we'll have another drawer. And on the left-hand side is going to be our AV cabinet right here. So cable and HDMI hookup for our TV up there. And then 2 large drawers in the middle there. All right, and then you'll have the same storage on this side that we saw on the other side. But on this side, actually, your ladder for your Cabover bunk is built in there. We'll take a look at that Cabover bunk when we head up front towards the cab, but your ladder just pops out of there. So it's nice to have a designated storage spot for that. And then one quick thing to show you is just take a look under the bed here. So underneath the bed is where all of our water tanks are going to be stored. So it's because of this and a few other features that Renegades are pretty well suited for colder weather. All of this fresh water, your 150 gallons of fresh water, is up in the chassis or up in the house with you. So it's not down below where it could freeze, it's all right underneath your bed. You have some pumps and hoses up here, but makes that all really easy to access. If anything breaks, very easy for any technicians to get in here and fix it. All right, so now we're gonna head up front back into the living area, and we'll take a look at our control panel here next to the kitchen before we head all the way up. So show you a couple of things we can do here. Right now we're on our home screen. So first off, we're gonna have a light master switch, so we can turn on or off all of our lighting from there. It's gonna show your front and your rear thermostats. So one thing I forgot to mention, this has two 15K BTU AC units, and they both have heat pumps built in. Up here is gonna be all of our tank capacities, so our fresh, gray, black, and LP. We can start or stop our water pump from here. We can start or stop our tank heaters from here. So that is for the heaters on your gray and black tank that we talked about. We can see our house battery voltage, and we can start or stop our generator. Now, our next screen is just going to be a lighting panel. So this is all of the lights throughout the coach. Now, what is really nice about these is these are actually all dimmable. So if I just click and hold one of these, well, I can't really see it in here right now, but every single light throughout the interior of this coach is dimmable, and you can do all that from right here. Now, just for your master switch, what's cool too, is if you deselect a few of these, that will now be considered your master switch. So if I want to turn off, say, our living and our slide overhead lighting, when I turn on our interior master switch again, it's not going to turn those on. It'll only turn on the ones I've selected it to. Next screen right here is just going to show what's going on with your power source and everything electrical. So right now you can see our generator is running, and we'd be able to see our solar from here as well. So again, this is 600 watts of solar. Not getting a lot of solar charging today because it's very overcast. Right here is going to be our climate controls for that front and rear AC unit. So we have our cool, our heat pump, we can select our fan speed, and we can also control our furnace. So your furnace for this coach is going to be a 35K BTU propane furnace, and that's all vented through, inducted through the floor. We can start or stop our AquaGo from here, so that is for our continuous hot water. Next one is just going to be that vent fan for the bathroom. And then our slides are going to be done right here. So our slide, window shade, and awning are all going to be controlled from here, as well as our leveling. So if we want to go into here to our leveling, this is auto leveling. There's going to be another control panel for your auto leveling up in the chassis, but we can do it from this panel as well. So all you have to do is press auto level, and it's going to level the entire coach. You can also tweak it manually right there. And again, everything that we looked at in here pairs to an app on your phone, and we can do all of this from our phone. We can put in or out the slides, we can do the leveling, we can adjust the thermostat. All of that can be done from your cell phone. All right, so now head up towards the front, and we'll finish off up here in the chassis. Let me go ahead and put this down real quick. So this one was optioned with the Cabover bunk. This is going to give you sleeping for easily 2 adults up there. It's very roomy. There's a power shade up top. So that power shade can be controlled from this little panel on the side right here. We can also control that power shade from, again, that cell phone app that we talked about. All of your lighting for the bunk, as well as actually the whole coach, can be controlled from here. So this panel can control your interior master light switch. We have a little bit of storage here on the side, as well as a charging port right there. So again, you have USB, USB-C, 110 outlet charging. And then on our passenger side, there is a dedicated TV for whoever is using your Cabover bunk. Now, there is a privacy curtain that can go all the way across here. So nice option for anyone that's sleeping up there to be able to have their own privacy. But one important thing that they do with these Cabover bunks is if you look up here behind this wall, there's actually going to be 2 dedicated AC vents for that Cabover bunk. So one of the issues you see with Cabover bunks is because we have that window, we have this big fiberglass cap, you're really close to the ceiling. In warmer climates, these can really heat up a lot, so having a dedicated AC vent for that Cabover bunk is really going to help whatever passengers you put up there, just from getting cooked. While we're looking up at the ceiling, one thing to mention, this does have a JBL sound system built in, so those are 2 of our speakers right there. This is also all soft touch ceiling all the way throughout the coach. So that soft touch sealing really helps with noise insulation in here. Just makes it not sound too canned. When you want to put this Cabover bunk away, all you're going to do is push this in. Your two mattress pads will stack on top of each other because of the way this is sloped. So we can push that all the way in. Now it's going to be really easy to access our cab without me hitting my head on anything. I can just step right in here and take a seat. All right, so now we're all the way up in the cab. First thing to note, both of these chairs right here are going to be air ride seats. So down by my leg, I can adjust the air right from there. So I can air this seat up or down. We have our lumbar controls. And now we'll go ahead and start it. Take a look at a few of the things here. So first off, up top is going to be your backup camera. So that is your backup camera as well as your side cameras. So right now we're looking at the rear, but if I turn on my left blinker, that is going to display the left side camera. So that's mounted right in front of your driver's side wheel. And then if I turn on my right blinker, we're gonna take a look at our passenger side camera. So a lot of people are nervous about driving Super Cs. Obviously they're bigger. This one is 36 feet, 10 inches in length. But having those side cameras makes them really easy to maneuver, really safe when you're driving around smaller side streets. Right here, we're gonna have our Garmin. So not too much we can show you on here because most of this relies on you having the Garmin app. If you wanted to program exterior cameras into this, you can set them up. So if we go to our rear view here, we can add new cameras to this if we wanted to add a trailer camera or anything like that. What's really cool about this thing is this whole thing's detachable, so it just pops right off like that. So if you're using this for your navigation, your passenger can just pull this right off instead of having to lean all the way forward. They can just pop it off the panel and program in your navigation right there. And then behind that is just going to be some of your stereo controls. So we can adjust our volume or anything from there. Down below, we're going to have our leveling. So this is your EQ smart leveling system. We went over this on the control panel. So this can all be controlled from back there, but we can also do it from the cab if we want to. On our left side over here, we're going to have our hazard lights. We're going to have a footwell light for below the driver's seat. And then we'll have the auto traction control override. Down here is going to be your suspension dump. So again, this is rear air suspension. And then right here is going to be your fast idle switch. So this fast idle switch is kind of useful for airing up your suspension. Normally, sitting right now, we're idling at about 800 RPMs. If you turn on this fast idle, that's going to bring you up to about 1200 RPMs. So the higher the RPMs, the quicker the coach is going to air up. So it just helps it speed that process up a little bit. And down here, we just have our AC controls. So you can select 4 fan speeds. You can change your temperature right there and change what fans you're using. All right, now moving over to our steering column. Right here is going to be our air brakes. So again, this coach has air brakes. This is the parking brake, this yellow knob right there. On our shifter, all we have is drive, neutral, and reverse. So to shift, you just rotate that knob, neutral, reverse. Now, if you want to use this coach in manual, you're going to push in this button at the end until it goes into manual, and then this works as a paddle shifter. So we just go up and down like that. This coach also has an engine brake. So to activate that engine brake, you just push this shifter down, and now our engine brake is on. This is really nice compared to previous models with that Allison transmission because the shifter used to be on the left-hand side or up here on the dash. Now everything is integrated right here into this paddle, so it just makes it a lot easier to use. All right, so that'll finish up everything for our video today. If anybody has any questions about this coach, please feel free to reach out to me. All my contact information will be linked below, so if you have any questions, there's anything we didn't cover, please reach out. Thanks for watching our video.